Hi, I'm Frank Hansen with Iowa Realty, and today I'm with Elise Vernon and Susan Watts, the owner of Olson-Larsen Gallery in Valley Junction. And we want to talk a little bit about the gallery here. Susan, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the gallery.
Sure. So the gallery has been around since 1979.
Wow.
Yeah. So we represent and always have represented all Midwestern artists.
Mm-hmm.
We're at about 55 artists right now, and we also have a custom frame shop on site. So we rotate our shows, which means we take everything down and put new things up about every 6 to 8 weeks. We try to do other events too, just to bring people down to Valley Junction and into the gallery. And we do a lot of both corporate sales and individual sales and kind of everything in between.
So when you say corporate sales, it's primarily people that have a company here and they buy it for their lobby and things
Correct.
like that.
Yep.
And Elise, what's your position here?
I am the gallery manager, and
Okay.
I've been here for about 2.5 years.
Tell us a little bit about what you were doing before that.
Before that, I worked for a portrait photographer in the Ankeny area, doing a lot of different things for him. Before that, I was in graduate school at the University of Iowa, so
So you're a Hawkeye.
yeah, by default, I guess.
Right. Did you take photography there?
I did, yeah. So I have my master's in fine arts with a concentration in photography.
What's the best thing that you like about working at the gallery?
So many things. It's a small business, so there's only 3 of us: Susan, myself, and Mark Goodrich, who is the frame shop manager. So it's great that we work so closely together. We get along really well, and so we work very collaboratively, which is great. I love communicating with the fantastic artists that we represent and coordinating exhibitions, everything that goes along with that. Working with our clients and everything else that we have to do. So,
Do you do exhibitions outside of the gallery?
not really. Sometimes we have a hand in helping other people organize community arts events, but mostly just here.
Susan, you might tell everyone how you got involved as the owner.
Yeah, in 2003, I dropped off my resume here just on a whim. I have an art history and journalism background, so I had moved back to the area. I'm from here originally, and dropped my resume off. And several months later, the owner called me, and I was luckily hired as the manager. So I was doing what Elise is doing.
Oh, right.
And so I worked here for 7 years, and then Marlene Olson, who hired me, decided to retire, and so she sold me the business. Here I am.
Elise, are you going to be the next one?
I don't know. Susan's far from retirement, so maybe we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
A few years to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, where do you get most of your artists then?
Well, we do a little bit of, they both come to us and we come to them. So we are all 3 of us are out in the art community quite a bit because it's what we love to do and it's what we studied. So if we see someone that we think would be a good fit, we would approach them and see if they want to come on board. And that means that they would be represented by us, which is a exclusive representation within Central Iowa. So that means we promote their work, we put their work on our website, we show them as often as we can. We try to sell their work in a variety of ways. And but then we also accept applications all the time. So we just get people contacting us, stopping in, calling, or emailing that are interested in being in the gallery. So,
do you work in any particular kind of medium? I know I see this, you have some black and white. Is that pencil or?
that's actually a very interesting process. That's a local artist, Brent Holland, and he does kind of a drawing on the computer. Then he prints it out sometimes on plexiglass, sometimes on other substrates.
Oh, wow.
Coats it with resin, sometimes goes back in and does more handwork. So he does all different kinds of things. But in terms of your question, no, we have a variety of media. So everything from something very technologically advanced like that to an oil painting.
Okay.
Kind of, we try to do a little bit of everything as much as we can.
Now I notice over there you have a piece that's a frame. Did you do the East Jersey?
Yes, so our
East Side Jersey?
Yes, so Mark Goodrich, as Elise mentioned, he's our custom frame shop manager and he does all of our framing. So yeah, we do everything in that regard as well.
Right.
So yeah, people
ahead.
bring us their grandchildren's finger paintings to frame,
Oh, yeah.
and we've also framed Picasso's and Warhols too. Plus, most everything you see on the wall, we frame as well for our
So
shows.
I probably have something at home that's worthy of framing.
Of
right?
course,
Absolutely.
if you think it's worthy, we will frame it.
Well, why don't you tell everybody where you're located in
Sure.
Valley Junction?
Sure. So we're at 203 Fifth Street, which is just a good landmark. Is we're right next door to the tavern. Just over a block south of Railroad or north of Railroad. Excuse me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, again, I'm Frank Hansen with Iowa Realty, and what we're trying to accomplish here is to get people to know the people that work and live in the community, and to shop local. And of course, there's plenty of art here, and we'll kind of take a tour here in a few minutes of the gallery, and maybe Susan can tell us about some of the paintings that are in here, or the art that's in here, I guess. And if you would like to see this interview, you can go on parkbench.com/West Des Moines, and you'll be able to see the interview along with some other interviews of businesses that I've done. So hopefully we'll do a tour right now.
Sure. Sounds
Okay.
good.
This is Susan Watts with Olson-Larsen Galleries, and we're just going to take a quick tour of what we have here in the gallery right now. This is Brent Holland, and he is an artist I mentioned in the interview with Frank. So Brent is a professor at Iowa State, and he does all kinds of interesting things. He's got processes he's developed with digital drawing and also hand drawing that's on acrylic and different types of substrates and covered with resin. So that's what these pieces are. We often have things on the floor because we're showing them to people or waiting to deliver them. So here's a Molly Wood. That's a photograph that we're going to hang tomorrow. This is a Gary Bowling canvas. We had also mentioned framing job sitting over here. Also, that's for an East High player. It's kind of a memorial framing project. So we get all kinds of different things in our frame shop. Here's another piece by Brent Holland. And this is actually familiar to a lot of people because it's a view of downtown. Janine Riding is another artist that we're currently representing, currently exhibiting that we represent. Janine does all kinds of different woodcut prints that are very sizable. So they have definitely an impact in a room. And Levi Robb is the other person that we're featuring at this time. Levi is a local artist, and he's an architect by day and does all kinds of interesting things with printmaking. And these are from a series that he did when he had a residency in Iceland.
Susan and Elise, I'd like to thank you for doing the interview today. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you some business here at the Olson-Larsen Gallery at 203 5th Street in Valley Junction.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Of course.